So in this video, I wanted to take a quick look at a very cool pen called the Kokuyo Mistral. It's also sold as a mechanical pencil, but I bought it in the ballpoint version. And what's so cool about this is this right here. It is a side knock or body knock pen or pencil. Again, in this case, it's the ballpoint. It sells for about $10. You could buy the set for about maybe $18, $20. And it's a small metal pen. Kind of reminds me of a Zebra EM or Zebra Emulsion series. Kind of that we looked at a lot of them here on the channel, but it's basically a small metal executive style pen. And the main selling point, again, is that side knock mechanism. Just so cool. Not something you see very often. Works really well, and it's just a fun pen. So again, it's called the Mistral. That's M-I-S-T-R-A-L. Comes in very simple packaging. Sold by Kokuyo. That's the paper company. They're largely known for their paper and campus notebooks. And this is the material. You can see it's the body knock right there, or side knock, whatever you want to call it. Components are very simple. You have the body, then you have a small metal refill. It's a D1 size. Then you have the front piece. So it does not screw apart at the joint here, it screws apart at the front. Not too much on the back unless you know Japanese, but we do see the model PRM100C. The set would be called the PKM100C. It's also sold as the pencil, but really the main way to buy this is in a pen and pencil set. I've only bought it in the pen because I found it on eBay for, like, I don't know, some good deal, so I bought it. I'm wishing I had the pencil, so I should have gotten the set anyway, but there you go. And then 1,000 yen, so about a $10 retail price, which makes sense. The pen is all metal, no plastic on this. It's a little bit cheaply made, not like poorly made, but you can see kind of a cheap looking clip there, and it is quite small. Like here's it next to a Pilot G2. See, the G2 is a good deal larger than it. Again, it's the size of a kind of a smaller Zebra in the emulsion line, or the Z emulsion line. Here's it next to a Pilot Preppy, and then like I don't know. This is a Pilot Automac. Again, all of these are a lot larger. It's just a small pen, so you have to keep that in mind. It's built nicely, but it's not large. Front piece is chromed. Then this is a satin finish. It's definitely metal, kind of has an aluminum type look, but I would imagine it's brass, hard to say. But again, a satin finish. It's quite slippery. The small size combined with how slippery this material is means this thing can be, it's not as good a writer as I would have liked, even though I do love the body knock action. And then here's the joint here. You can see it's flat on the bottom side and then kind of curved on the top, which makes sense, right? Because the way the body knock happens, it's like a cup. The bottom piece, again, it's like this. So that bottom, the lower, is a cup that goes over the indentation or the convex part there. Same material here. Again, it's that sort of smooth satin finish, and then just a top piece. But this is purely functional. I've had people pick this pen up on my desk and start pushing it and twisting it, and just their brain breaks trying to figure out what's going on. And finally you do this, and they think you're joking, but it actually does work quite nicely. Again, the clip is kind of cheap, just a stamped clip. Could have done a nicer job with this, but clearly costs are trying to be contained. There's a little bit of engraving, which is cool, and you can see Kokuyo PRM100. They left off the C for whatever reason. I don't know where I put that. There you go. They left off the C, but it doesn't really matter. Made in Japan. Opening the pen up, we can see this piece comes off quite easily. I'd be concerned about this in the future, whether it's going to start falling off. It hasn't yet. Very small spring, and then you can see D1 refill. And you can see the whole thing happen here. That's it. That's all there is to it. Sorry. So you just pull this out. It's a pressure fit. And nothing on this. It's just an unbranded metal D1 refill. I don't think Kokuyo makes refills, so that's probably not shocking. To get the pen back together, you can see, probably just make out the fitting in there. It's probably just a brass fitting, so it's a pressure fit. And this thing you just kind of snake around, and it can be a little bit hard to get in there, which is a bit troubling, but once you line it up, you just push it in, and that's it. One of the cool things about a body knock, it's just like a push knock, but you can do it with one hand. So that's very cool. It's kind of useful if you have a pencil, but you could just do it while you're writing and kind of extend the lead. It's a little bit less useful with a pen, but it's still quite cool. And obviously you don't have to change your grip when you're doing it. That's very useful for a pencil because it'll just extend the lead as you need it. Less useful for a pen, but still quite cool. And that's why it makes sense that this is sold as a series. Obviously, if you have a top button, you could do it with one hand. A twist is a little bit difficult to do with one hand, but a top button you obviously can, but you are going to sacrifice the grip. You have to change your grip. I did want to do a quick test. What happens with a lot of these D1 refills is that the width is very slightly different, and some are, I think, 2.0 or 2.2, and some are 2.4 millimeters. It's just like there's two different sizes, and I always forget which is which, but some are thicker than others, and a lot of times it doesn't matter, but a lot of Japanese pens tend to use the skinnier ones, and European pens tend to use the fatter ones. So what I wanted to do here was try to put in this very nice D1 refill. This is a Schmidt it's a Schmidt 635. It says mine there or something like that, but it says 635. I'll put it next to the one from Kokuyo, and visually the Schmidt, they're the same length, right? But visually the Schmidt looks just a hair thicker. So we'll see if it fits. If not, you're kind of restricted to those Japanese style D1s. And it does seem to fit. So it looks like we do have some flexibility there as to what refills you can use with this. And does it extend? Yeah, no problem there. And now we get the nice marking there so we can see. So let's do a quick test. This is the Kokuyo Mistral ballpoint, and it's a D1 refill, so you can use any D1 you want. Just to remind you that this is actually writing with the Schmidt D1 635, which I will review at some point in the future. Haven't really gotten around to it. I've had this refill for months. And now let's move over to the stock refill. Good fit. Clearly there's a little bit of flexibility on the internal mechanism. So instead of just being a sleeve, it might be a two-part component that's sort of clamped down, hard to tell. And this is the Kokuyo stock D1 refill. This is obviously a finer refill. I believe it's a 0.5 millimeter, and it is a ballpoint. This is a perfectly acceptable refill. Writes nicely, but you can see it does not have the thickness or the color pop of that really high-end Schmidt refill. This is just kind of a plain Jane black refill. I would probably, for me, I'll use a Schmidt, or I might get a nice Jetstream. Jetstream has nice D1 refills that I like a lot. But this one's completely fine and is definitely good enough, just not particularly special. As for the pen itself, I love the bodyknock. The fact that you can get this for about 10 bucks is really phenomenal. The downside of it is it's just a small pen and it's kind of slippery, and small and slippery are problematic. Small is fine, slippery is okay, but small and slippery means this thing may not be something you want to write with for extended periods of time. I have been carrying it around, and it's a nice size to just throw in your pocket or throw in a bag. But as for actual extended writing, I just find it to be really slippery. But I use it anyway because I'm just too amused by this nice bodyknock or side knock mechanism. So that about covers it. Thanks for watching.